Happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast. It's been a while since we've done a post-game show. I'm here with my buddy, Zach Harris on my right. And what a win for the Philadelphia Eagles. 30-13 is the final score. Jalen Hurts with 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Nick Sirianni with his 3rd straight week of calling a brilliant game for this team. And I got to say, guys, I'm eating crow on Nick Sirianni. I really am. Nick Sirianni, I made fun of this guy. I made fun of his shirts. I made fun of his highlighters. I made fun of his accent. I made fun of his talk. I've made fun of everything when it's come to Nick Sirianni. This guy has proven me wrong, and I'm going to say it right here, right now. This guy right now will get votes for Coach of the Year when it comes to coaching this team. Because Jalen Hurts, I'm still not sold on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts played a great game today. I'm not taking anything away from him whatsoever. I'm not sold on this guy, and Nick Sirianni is making this guy look decent. And like I said before, I'm not taking anything away from Jalen Hurts. So before you guys jump on me, I'm saying he had a great game today. Not a good game, a great game today. But Nick Sirianni is putting him in the best position possible to win. The running game with Jordan Howard and Boston Scott, forget it. One of the best in the league right now. Everyone said that Jordan Howard was washed up. This guy's looking like he did as his old self. Never, and I mean never, bring Miles Sanders back. Ever. Cut this guy off the team right now. Do not bring him back. We do not need Miles Sanders. Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, that's what we should run with from here on out. Now, the next step that we have to do is win a goddamn game at home. We have to win a game at home. All of our 4 wins have come on the road this year. We need to win next week against the New Orleans Saints, and we're in the wild card race since there's 3 wild card spots and an extra game. Man, I'm pumped. Zach, how you doing?
Good. So small disclaimer, since everybody cried last week or earlier this week, I do have a 2-year-old. Sometimes I do need to distract her while I'm doing the show, so I put on the TV in the background. So if you hear the TV in the background or the 2-year-old, I apologize in advance. No need to comment and be all angry about it. I do apologize. But at the end of the day, we're here for you. We're trying to put out good content, and we're trying to connect with you guys. And guess what? It's always good to connect with everybody over a victory. I love it. I'm enjoying it. And guess what? It's not coffee. A little Jack and Coke action for you because I'm celebrating a good team win. Defense, special teams, offense, especially the run game. So a little celebratory. It's been a while since I had a Jack and Coke. Figured, hey, a good win like this deserves one.
And at the end of the day, most of you guys don't have kids, so you don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, Jack and Coke is a weapon of choice when it comes to adulthood. So I love the drink choice. I haven't drank in weeks. I'm ready to do that for Thanksgiving Eve, especially this weekend when I go up to Penn State and Happy Valley to watch the Rutgers Scarlet Knights take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. They're going to spank the shit out of them because Rutgers is actually decent this year and Penn State sucks. So I cannot wait to go up to that game. But let's get back to this Eagles team today. What a performance. Absolutely, what a performance. Last week, you could have said whatever you want. I thought last week's game plan was better than this week's game plan. And this week's game plan, they kicked the shit out of this Denver Broncos team. Did they have 1 million guys out or 1 million guys hurt? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, they kicked the shit out of this team. Teddy Bridgewater couldn't do anything. anything whatsoever. Big play Slay came up big, returning a pick six, fumble recovery for 6 to the house. It was just a combined team effort. What did I say last week in my post-game video? I said that this team reminds me a lot, and I'm not going to compare. Listen, I know I'm going to compare it, and it's going to sound crazy, but this team reminds me a lot of what I saw in 2017 with the Super Bowl team. I'm not saying this team's going to win the Super Bowl. They're in no shape, way, or form going to win the Super Bowl. But this team, the way they're playing, reminded me of how the consistency of that team in 2017 played, because they're playing like a band of brothers, and they're playing like they want to go to the playoffs. So you know what? Scratch everything I said in the past. I am on board with this train. I deleted my Twitter account. I'm only running the Fly Like an Eagle podcast page on Twitter. I am more professional now. I'm no longer on Twitter. Everyone wants to be right, and nobody wants to be wrong. I'm one of those guys that wants to be a goddamn fan. So I am back. My fandom is here. It is natural. I'm ready to go. Let's punch these other fucking teams in the mouth. I am pumped up, Zach. I really am, and I'm ready to go.
Now, all right, so I want to hamper on a couple of things that I've said over the course of our podcast, especially this year. So at the beginning of the season, we do our stupid schedule release and blah, blah, blah. And I said, if we can stay in the mix, this is the part of our schedule where it really, really not gets easy, but it's nice, because you take a look at these next 7 games, you mix in the bye week, but we don't go further than 2.5 hours away from home within these next 7 games. So you're basically looking at a home stay every single week for the next 7 games to end the season. How nice is that, to be able to stay in your own house, enjoying your own wife and your own kids? You're not on the road. The furthest you go away is Washington, Maryland, that's 2.5 hours away from Lincoln Financial Field. So you're not really, it's not like a whole weekend travel that you're going to take. So you get to spend time with the wife and kids before you go on the road and try to win another football game. So that within the next 7 weeks is great news. Well, 8 weeks, but 7 games is great news. And also, we talked about it. I go, we're going to Vegas, no matter what happens, win, lose, whatever happens, all the Nick Sirianni BS, all the Jalen Hurts BS, all that defensive BS. I want it to stay in Vegas. I want to come out a new team, win, loss, or indifferent. Guess what? They've looked like a brand new team over the last 3 weeks. This is the team I was expecting to see from the beginning. They're not going to win big. They're not going to win pretty. It's going to be ugly wins. It's going to be tough wins. It's going to be competitive games. And that's exactly what you've seen over the last 3 weeks. Now, I still think the playoffs, is a little bit of a stretch. This is still, like I said at the beginning of the season, this is still a 7-win team, 8 at the very most. I thought somewhere 6-7 wins, and obviously 4-6 right now. They win 2 more games, and they're already at where I thought they would be. But 6-7 wins, 8 at the most, is still a 500 ball club. But guess what? The Panthers are a 500 ball club. The Falcons are a 500 ball club. So that 7th spot leaves a lot to be desired. And just when you think you're down and out, the Atlanta Falcons pull you right back in with the dud of a game they put up against the Dallas Cowboys.
What about the Carolina Panthers today, losing by 30 to the what about the Arizona Cardinals today, losing by 30 to the Carolina Panthers? That was today was unexpected. I think in my football pool, I lost 5 straight games to end the day. It was absolutely ridiculous. I lost the Arizona Cardinals game. I did pick the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Eagles fans, I did. I lost. What was the other game I lost? I lost 5. I know. Let me see. Hold on. I'll bring it up right now. But today was a tough day for me in the NFL. It really was. And I did not gamble today, which was good. But it was just one of those days where I did not hit anything. I hit, and it's funny because I picked Miami on Thursday, but then I just lost it. All right, so I lost Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay lost outright to Washington. Then I lost Arizona. Arizona lost outright to Carolina. Then I lost the LA Chargers. They lost to Minnesota. Then I lost the Eagles. They lost. Then I lost the Denver Broncos. They lost to Philadelphia. And then I picked Seattle, who got shut out by Green Bay today. I went absolutely horrendous today. My picks were horrendous today. So when it comes to my betting device right now, do not take anything I say or go the other way, because I have been horrible absolutely terrible when it comes to predicting the National Football League because I just cannot do it. I can't do it. That's why this league is the best week in and week out because you never know what's going to happen. The Dallas Cowboys got their shit rocked by a team last week that we killed this week on the road. You cannot predict the NFL, and if you say you can, you're a flat-out liar. It doesn't happen.
All right, so I don't do a lot of self-promotion on the podcast, but I'm going to do it right now. So for those of you that may know that follow me personally, I do a radio show on Fox Sports 980, 95.9 FM, Fridays at 5, Sundays at 11 a.m. Doesn't matter where you are. I get calls from Louisiana, Michigan, all over the place. So if you want to tune in, iHeartRadio app, just search Fox Sports 980, 95.9 FM. It will say Capital Region's Home for Sports. Every Sunday at 11 a.m., I do my NFL Pick Sixes. And it's been a tough few weeks. And this week, I finally broke through. So on the year, I'm 31, 21, and 2. But this week, I had the Bills minus 5.5, Tennessee Titans -3, which on a backdoor cover by the Saints, that what killed me. But I had the New England Patriots -2.5, Detroit +6.5, Philly +2, and then I got to finish it off the Kansas City Chiefs -3. So right now, going into the last game, 4-1, coming off a 3-3 week, and then before that was 2-3-1. So, if you want to win some money, this is the place to be. This is the place to be. I don't like giving my picks because, it's just a confidence thing for me because so many times people are wrong and even the best of the best of the best are wrong. And it's just a personal feel when it comes to betting because too often you just look for the line that points out to you and you say, that's the one I want. And the one that was a stone cold lock for me was the New England Patriots -2.5 in the heat of an AFC race where they haven't even faced the Bills twice this season. They still got 2 more games with the Bills. They're a half a game behind the Bills for first place. That's the one that stuck out for me. And all that drama with OBJ and everything with the Cleveland Browns and that shoulder injury and then running backs out for COVID, that was the one that stuck out for me the most. And Kyle knows this. You have intuitions when it comes to certain games betting where you see a line, it absolutely sticks out and you're like, I'm going to hammer this one home. And that's what was for me was the New England Patriots -2.5.
And what he's talking about is a line like the Philadelphia Eagles line. Zach went with the Philadelphia Eagles this week, more than likely, probably because the line didn't make any sense in the back of our thoughts, the back of our minds. It didn't make any sense. You're thinking, why would you pick the Philadelphia Eagles when the Denver Broncos just killed the Dallas Cowboys? It doesn't make any sense. But sometimes you got to pick lines like that because that's how you win. That's how you win money because Vegas likes to trick the human brain. That's just what they do week in and week out. So the Eagles, it was a really good pick by Zach. And if you want to go off of his predictions, I would say go with Kansas City tonight because Kansas City has been looking horrible for the last 5 weeks. Now, I'm not telling you to pick Kansas City because I've been horrible and I don't want to jinx it. But going off of what Zach said, Kansas City might blow them out tonight. Because Kansas City is one of those teams where Patrick Mahomes doesn't look the same. He just had a kid. He has an engagement to some crazy-ass bitch. So it's one of those games where you just don't know what's going to happen. But I'm going to tell you right now that Patrick Mahomes – it's going to light the lamp tonight. So I'd say go for it. Zach's on fire. I'm not. That's his pick, not mine. So I'd say go for it.
I'm also going to tell you, they're all crazy. You just got to find the right one that you can deal with their craziness because through the thick and thin of craziness, they support you through thick and thin. And that's the one that you got to go for. So all women in this world are crazy. And I know my wife just gave me the death stare as I said that. Also want to remind people, this is something that we don't normally do after post games, but I figured, nice big win. Everybody's fired up. Let's get the phone lines open. So if you want to call in 518-944-4297. And yes, I just hesitated on my own phone line because I'm used to giving my sports phone line for my radio show, but 944-4297, 518 area code. Feel free to call in. Bring the fire. It's a nice win. We got the Jack and the Coke on the rocks. Well, all right. The ice already melted, but on the rocks.
Yeah, exactly. I got the water on no rocks. Brandon G97 says, I agree with you, Sanders. Even if he comes back next week, I would keep Howard as our number one running back. Yeah, why wouldn't you keep him as your number one running back? Howard looks rejuvenated. Howard looks like that Pro Bowler that he used to be with the Chicago Bears. You keep Howard your number one running back at all times. Miles Sanders is an afterthought to me. Number one, he's from Penn State University. Yes, I'm going to correlate the two because anything that comes from Penn State sucks. All right, so you keep Howard your number one running back at all times. You could put Miles Sanders as a rotational piece, maybe as a number 3 running back. You keep Howard, Scott, maybe Miles Sanders. Putting Gainwell before Miles Sanders would be my opinion, but it is what it is. You're gonna have those Miles Sanders lovers that come out of nowhere just because the guy runs off a couple of big plays for touchdowns once in a while. I'm not dealing with that. I want consistency, and you go with what's consistent. If you guys really want to make the playoffs and you don't want to play favorites, you go with what works, and what works right now is Jordan Howard and Boston Scott, and you keep it going until it breaks.
I love Miles Sanders, but I agree with you. You stay with the hot hands. Now, Miles Sanders adds another dimension. When he's able to catch the ball, you get the ball in his hands, he can do something in space, but too often he has negative plays. Now, I know this year is an anomaly where he's had some of the least negative plays of all the running backs, but you get the ball in this kid's hands and he can do something special 1 out of 20 touches. And we've talked about it before, that Steelers game last year where he broke off for the 70, 80-yard touchdown, whatever it may have been. The more you get the ball in Miles Sanders' hands, the more you expect at least 1 or 2 special plays from the kid. And at the end of the day, right now, this is a rise and grind kind of team. And that's what Boston Scott and Jordan Howard do so well. They grind out the 2, 3, 4 yards. I told you, Kyle, this team is at its best when you grind out and get those 3rd and mediums, 3rd and shorts. That way, hey, you can throw the ball, or hey, you can run the ball. You keep defenses guessing. You don't know what's coming on 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 3. It's not like you have Derrick Henry back there where, hey, it's 3rd and 9. You know what? Derrick Henry might be our best chance. Let's just try to run it on 3rd and 9 anyways. That's not how the Eagles team works. And when you put Jalen Hurts in 3rd and long situations, we know he still has some inefficiencies as a passer. So to put him in 3rd and medium, 3rd and short, that's where this team's going to succeed, because you got the legs of Jalen Hurts, you got the legs of Miles Sanders, you got the legs of Jordan Howard, you got the legs of Boston Scott. There's so many opportunities for this team to successfully convert 3rd downs and continue to move the chains, but it starts on 1st and 2nd down. And if you get guys like Boston Scott and Jordan Howard going, where they're getting those 3, 3.5, 4 yards, automatically it's 2nd and 6. You go for a passing play, you fail. Guess what? It's still 3rd and 6. It's 3rd and medium. It still keeps the playbook open. And that's the thing that I've seen over the last three weeks that has really been a difference, where we don't necessarily need to rely on Jalen Hurts making those big time throws in those 3rd and long situations.
Right. And there's a fan right here, Brandon G97, who he read one of his comments earlier. Here's the thing. I don't want to talk the word future. All right. For me to give Jalen credit right now should be a step up for you guys watching the show. You guys watch the show every single week. You know how down I am on Jalen Hurts, all right? Especially as the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know how down I am on him. Can we just take this day today, just this day right here, and say how good of a game he played? I don't want to talk about who's right, who's wrong, who's going to be the future, who's not going to be the future. I want to talk about this game right here, because this is the year where the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to get to the playoffs as a new team. They're talking about a clean slate, a new team, new coaching staff, a new future, and I just used the word future, so I'm kind of going back on what I said. But when it comes to the quarterback position, I'm still out on Jalen Hurts. Yes, I am. I always will be until he proves that he could throw the ball down the field consistent without using his body. Yes, I will be. But I'm giving the guy who was the quarterback for this team today a ton of credit. He led the perfect game plan to succession, and the guy, he has the if factor when it comes to winning games. He just does. He takes it over. Now, am I saying is he flashy? No, not really. Is he a guy like Russell Wilson? Is he a guy like Lamar Jackson? Well, actually, after watching Lamar Jackson on Thursday, he might be better than Lamar Jackson. And yes, I'm saying that. And no, I'm not drunk. I actually think that he might actually be a better player than Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson won an MVP. Lamar Jackson, I'm going to be honest with you, without a great offensive line and without great playmakers, he kind of stinks. I'm being honest with you. Like, do you guys watch the same games that I do? Look at how he throws the ball. Look at his awareness. He just doesn't have any. So the thing I'll give Jalen Hurts credit for is that, one, he never puts himself in harm's way. Two, he tries to win at all costs. And three, he's very durable. You don't get a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that are very durable. So right now, today, I like what I saw from Jalen Hurts today.
And he made some big time throws in the first half. Sorry to cut you off, but he made some big time throws in the first half, including one that was dropped by Quez Watkins in the back of the end zone, where that was a beautiful dime. I mean, in the second half, he struggled a little bit. He only threw 3 passes, but guess what? We were banging on a lead. We only needed him to throw 3 passes. And Jalen Hurts is at best where he can throw for 150, run for 100, and then get the run game going. Yep. These are going to be ugly stats put up by Jalen Hurts. He is everything you want in a franchise quarterback outside of the consistent passing. Right. And at the end of the day, look at Lamar. How many playoff games has he won? He's won 1. You need the consistent passing game. Ryan Tannehill.
Did he even win 1?
Yeah, he won 1 last year. That was his first win.
Oh, he got 1 last year.
Yep. So even guys like Ryan Tannehill, who's won a couple of playoff games, but when Derrick Henry gets shut down, when he gets held to 50 yards or 80 yards or something of that nature, Ryan Tannehill hasn't even been able to come through the clutch. So at the end of the day, as much as we love Jalen Hurts, the personality, the person, the leader of the team, he still needs to progress as a passer, which I thought he did very well. If that first quarter was indicative of what he could potentially become, I'm absolutely a buyer. But obviously, a whole season isn't dedicated to one quarter. We need to see that one quarter more often than we don't see it, whether that be 60% of the time, 55% of the time. I need to see that part of Jalen Hurts more often than I don't see that part of Jalen Hurts. And that's where the consistency lies within Jalen as a passer. But I really liked what he did in the first half, let alone the first quarter. If we could get that kind of consistency, efficiency, that is a franchise quarterback. But one quarter out of 9 games, 10 games now, we need more than that. We need more than that. And everybody will agree that first quarter was the best first quarter that Jalen's had this year.
Exactly, but he's got to be consistent. He's got to play every quarter. If he played that first quarter like he played the other 3 quarters, if he played the other 3 quarters like he played that first quarter, he could have had fucking 8 touchdown passes today. So it's got to be consistency when it comes to looking at your quarterback's future. It's got to be consistent. And in the NFL, you got to be consistent. I know Tom Brady looked like a shell today. I understand that. But at the same time, Tom Brady has had bad games, but Jalen Hurts has had more bad games than Tom Brady has. So, you have to, especially at this position, I say it week in and week out, you got to have the perfect intangibles. You got to be a leader. You got to have the IQ. You got to have the reads. You got to have everything. Like I said before, 0.00001% of the population can play at this level, but most aren't looked at. The people that get the luck and be able to perform under center every Sunday are the people that do it week in and week out. And right now, Jalen Hurts is lucky that he's getting the chance to play 14 NFL games. He's lucky because a lot of times, 10, maybe 9 out of 10 times, he wouldn't even be looked at. But us being the franchise that we are, we decided to go with the guy that was kind of a reach, to be honest with you, in the second round. We decided to go with him as our starter when Wentz won it out. And he got lucky, and he's taken advantage of it. So 14 games in, he's had some really good games. He's had some mediocre games, and he's had some bad games. I want consistency when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm asking for. Now I'm going to go to Lamar's comment. But every quarterback would suck without an offensive line playmakers. Not true. Tom Brady, well, it is Tom Brady. Tom Brady in New England had a lacrosse player as wide receiver and won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, if you want to go that route, that's just how it is. But no, serious for a second. I like your comment because I was actually listening on the radio when it came to this point. Jason Kelce went down for 2 plays. The backup center came in. Jalen Hurts couldn't do anything with the backup center. So when Jason Kelce went down, it proves that he's still probably the best center in the NFL. I'm saying it right now. He's the best center in the NFL still. When he went down, the whole game plan changed because you couldn't do anything. That just brings up a major hole when it comes to the future of this franchise. Because if Jason Kelsey chooses to retire after this year, you have a big problem. Because Landon Dickerson, to me, I don't think he looks that good. And I don't know if they drafted him to be the center, the future center. But Landon Dickerson, I'm not going to say I'm out on him, but he just doesn't, to me, he doesn't look that good. So
He's been solid, not great.
yeah, so you need someone that could fill Kelsey's shoes, and let's be honest, I don't think anyone could fill his shoes. So that's another thing, and that's why I love that comment, because that's one key part of the game.
I would disagree because there are certain quarterbacks that can overcome. And I know obviously guys like Patrick Mahomes have a shit ton of playmakers, but you take a look at that Super Bowl, go ahead and rewatch it. As terrible as that offensive line was, as great as that Bucks defensive line was, Patrick Mahomes made a lot of great throws that if they were caught by wide receivers, we're talking about a completely different Super Bowl. You know, it takes me back to the one play where it seemed like Patrick Mahomes scrambled for 50 yards in the backfield and ended up throwing and hitting, I think it was Tyreek Hill, right in the helmet. The dude obviously didn't catch it, but that was an on-target throw that wasn't caught. You know, that Patrick Mahomes, a talent like his, once in a generation, can make without a talented wide receiver, without a talented offensive line. It's just up to the wide receivers to be able to catch that ball. You know, there's a difference between great quarterbacks and elite quarterbacks, and guys that are elite can overcome, you know, things like a weaker offensive line or a weaker playmaking system. And that's exactly what you expect from an elite quarterback. There's not very many elites. There's probably Aaron Rodgers, maybe Russell Wilson, Tom Brady. There's only a handful of elites. There's only a handful of elites.
I would honestly say the elites right now are Tom Brady and Rodgers. Those are the elites in my mind. Those are guys that can make players better. You know, can Russell Wilson make players better? No, he can't. You know, you've seen it before. The play breaks down. You know, he's in trouble. He doesn't bring him to the playoff. They're just not. They're not the same team when they don't have the playmakers. They have Metcalf. They have Lockett. I mean, they had Marshawn Lynch for all the Super Bowl years. You know, elite players in my mind are those guys that no matter who is on the field, they'll play the same. You know, Tom Brady for years, you know, he had a great offensive line in Foxborough. I understand that. But, like, look at the wide receivers he was throwing to. Wes Welker, not that good. I'm sorry, he's not that good. Danny Amendola, not that good. Julian Edelman, a career-long special teamer up until Tom Brady started throwing to him, and they figured out, oh, we could throw to him. He's a special teamer, but he could throw to him, and we could keep him for cheap. Julian Edelman, not that good. He made Julian Edelman great because his route running was pretty damn good. So there you go, Tom Brady. That's why I'm going to say this right now, and it hurts. It pains me to say this, all right? But players like Tom Brady, you're never going to find them again. You're never going to. You know, Tom Brady had a horrible game today, but Tom Brady is the type of guy that does everything right. Is he a good down the field passer? No, he's not. He doesn't air the ball out down the field that much. But what he does do is he throws the sticks consistently, and no one can stop him. You know, that's what you need as a quarterback, and he makes it look like Madden. He makes it look like Madden. And, you know, if Jalen Hurts could play the way that Tom Brady could and just throw it to the sticks, I'd be okay with it. I really would. But the fact of the matter is he's always kind of thinking run first. And I don't like that. I've never liked that with a mobile quarterback. You know, it just sucks, Zach, because you're the Bama fan. And you've seen every single game that Jalen Hurts played in college. So if he could just throw to the fucking sticks, I'd be okay with it. Like, if someone could teach him, if he could, like, train with Tom Brady in the offseason, say, hey, teach me your game, I'll try to run with it. I have the wheels to back it up. You know, if he could do that, I'd be in on Jalen Hurts because he's not a down-the-field passer. He doesn't have the arm to throw downfield. So it would be something like that for me to say, hey, I'm in on Jalen Hurts, if that makes any sense. Because people like Tom Brady, they're not great down the field. They're not like a Patrick Mahomes, but he's the greatest of all time because he makes it work. You know, he makes his arm work. He was a 6th-round draft pick for a reason, and he made it work for years. That's just my opinion on that.
I mean, take a look at Mac Jones. Now, I know he's a first-round wide quarterback, but he's playing within the system. He's taking what the defense is giving him. He's quick with the passes. He's not taking too much time in the pocket, not holding on to the ball too much. He's making the direct decision before that ball is snapped. He knows exactly where his first read is. If it's not open, then he's going to scan the rest of the field. But he knows exactly where his first read is, where his check down is. And guess what? Mac Jones has been balling out. The only difference is I think Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels are trying to recreate this early Tom Brady career where they're like, all right, we have the defense. Let's just have a quarterback that does just enough to get us to wins. And Mac Jones is a guy that, out of all the quarterbacks, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones is one of the more consistent, better downfield passers. And the Patriots just need to let this dude ball at the end of the day, because if he makes a mistake, guess what? That defense is good enough to make sure they stop the opposing team on the offensive side of the ball, no matter what. So allow this guy to make mistakes, because at the end of the day, when it comes playoff time, you're going to need that quarterback that makes the big time throws. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. We go back to the consistency thing. We need Jalen to be more consistent, because when push comes to shove, when the tough gets going, the going's got to get tough, or whatever the opposing way it goes and everything else. You need Jalen Hurts to make the big time throws when it matters the most.
Wouldn't that just be something else if last year Tampa Bay won and then this year the Patriots won? Wouldn't that be something else? If they went back to back, Tom Brady won one, Billy won one to even the score, and then Tom Brady retires.
That's like the biggest FU.
That would be like something you couldn't even make in a movie. Like, it would be too unrealistic, especially with a rookie quarterback who would be the next dynasty. And it would pain me because I hate the Patriots. But I don't know. That would just be a little weird.
That would be greater than the Kurt Warner story that's coming out soon. I think December 25th, I think the movie's coming out.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. It would be. And I might actually place a bet on that just because it makes sense. So, yeah, but other than that, we want you guys phone calls. Obviously, it was a long day. A lot of you guys are probably drinking, fired up. But if you guys have some fire, if you guys have some passion, if you guys want your voices heard, this is the one show you could do it, and you could say whatever the fuck you want. We have no, FCC regulations. We have none of that, so say whatever you want. Zach doesn't really curse, and guess what? On this show, he does curse from time to time. So, that's what we're about. We are unfiltered. We are highly controversial because of me, not because of Zach, because of me. I'll admit it. And that's what we'll always be. We'll always be that. You're only down on Miles because of his carries are inconsistent. No, I'm down on Miles because whenever he's in there, shit don't work. That's why I'm on him. What do I always say? I know you probably don't always watch the show, and that's okay. But what do I always say? Can anyone say it? Zach, can you say it?
Stats are for losers.
Stats are for losers. T-shirt coming to you right after the show. Stats are for losers. All right? And I'm going to wear this.
Hey, this is Duncan from Kansas City.
What's up, Duncan?
How's it going, guys?
How you doing?
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing fine. Just fine.
I'm doing great. Dude, I'm really happy about the win today. Like, we did pretty much everything right, from the offense to the defense to special teams. And Jalen Hurts, I still don't think he's the guy, but he did what he's supposed to do today.
Right.
And I was thinking about what you were saying about how we need a quarterback that can be solid and doesn't have to be like a Patrick Mahomes or anything, but just the game manager. Is that what you were saying earlier, Kyle?
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Or did I talk too fast?
No, just a little bit. I was like checking my Twitter. I was retweeting the show just so viewers could call in and stuff like that. You were saying something about Patrick Mahomes?
Well, I was talking about something you said earlier about how if Jalen Hurts can be a game manager, you'd be okay with that. Is that what you were saying?
No. Not necessarily a game manager. What I said is players like Tom Brady, he's the best quarterback of all time because he makes it work. He doesn't necessarily throw it down the field at will because he doesn't have to. And he never had those weapons besides Randy Moss, who really stretched out the defense. He needs to make work with what he has. And he has a Devonta Smith who's open every single play. He doesn't even have to be a game manager. A game manager is someone like Dak. That's a game manager. He works with what he has. He has a shitload. He has a ton. Jalen Hurts doesn't. He has Devonta Smith and he has an average tight end in Dallas Goedert. That's who he has, and he's making it work, but good quarterbacks make it work with what they have. And that's what Jalen Hurts is doing right now. Am I saying that he's the franchise guy? I'm not saying that. I've always been down on Jalen Hurts. But with what he has, with what he's working with, he's making it work. And I can't shy away from that. I can't. I'm honest. I tell it how I see it all the time. And, I just think like he does need to train with someone like Tom Brady in the offseason. I think he needs to go to someone like that and say, hey, how can I get better? Because in this league, if you do play like Jalen Hurts and you do play like Tom Brady, but you don't run so much, when you don't think run first so much, you will succeed. You will. And I think that's what Jalen Hurts needs to do. He needs to go to more of a pocket passing quarterback. What happened with Donovan McNabb his first 5 years into the league? He turned more into a pocket passer and used his wheels when he had to. That's what Jalen Hurts needs to turn into. Is he durable enough to take the punishment? Absolutely. But that's not what it all comes down to, because when you're thinking run first and you run 9 times a game as a quarterback, you're not thinking about the grand scheme of things, and that's making the play in front of you. All right. When you're running it, sure, you'll get 10 yards. You'll get 10 yards every time. That's cool. But you always want to look for that step on the defense so you fake them out on the next play. They're not, when you're running to the sticks for 10 yards, they're going to think, oh, we'll just give up a first down. That's cool. But what is he going to do next? They think that he's just that game manager, but a little bit below a game manager by doing that. But as he played today in the first quarter, you're faking out the defense, dude. And that's just what I want for Jalen Hurts. I want Jalen Hurts to practice with somebody that's done it time in and time out consistently. That's what I want.
Learn to be a better passer. More about the arm than the leg.
Yeah, and I say that week in and week out, that it's more about the arm than the leg. But Jalen Hurts, let's be honest here, he doesn't have the arm. Tom Brady, if you look at how Tom Brady plays, he doesn't really have the arm either. He wings it. He wings it with the short passes, but he doesn't throw it downfield consistently. Whenever he throws it downfield, it's usually a duck or someone's got to be extremely wide open. If you look at his film compared to Jalen Hurts' film, I'm going to be honest. Tom Brady doesn't have that big of an arm either. He really doesn't. So if you become a Tom Brady, if you become someone that throws to the sticks consistently, gets it done with succession, you could be a really good quarterback in this league. But my problem is I don't think Jalen Hurts can play like that. That's my problem.
No, he can't play like that. To me, he's more like a running back who's playing quarterback. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but if he wants to be successful in this league, like he's really got to be a better passer. Like train with someone like Tom Brady or some of these other guys, and get and improve on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%, man. I agree. But other than that, you have anything else you want to say?
Well, another thing I want to talk about is the defense.
Okay.
Like we got to stop. We really got to get a stud linebacker, and we need another pass rusher and a safety in a corner.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Alex Singleton's not going to cut it for me, but this franchise. This franchise doesn't really invest deep in the linebacking. They just don't. Their best linebacker in the last 10 years was the guy who hit someone with an umbrella in South Beach. So Nigel Bradham, I'm referring to. So I just don't. They don't really invest in the linebacker. They never have. They never will. So we're going to have to look past that. But, as long as the pass rush comes to play every single week, that's all that matters. But they need to continue. That's the bottom line.
If you ask me, I think they need to really spread out their investments on the defense. They can't just always bank on the D-line every single year. Because eventually we have to value the linebacker position. We have to start, investing in the secondary too. We can't just put all our eggs in one basket. If we keep doing that, it's not going to work out. So we've got to really spread it out.
Right, and I think our safety's coming next year, Kyle Hamilton. I think he's going to really shore up that position out of Notre Dame. It all depends on how Miami does, to be honest with you. But, it definitely didn't help on Thursday with that.
Yeah. Also, who would you rather have right now, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Aaron Rodgers, 100%.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yep. Aaron Rodgers is, in my opinion, I know I called Tom Brady the best quarterback of all time because of his achievements. Aaron Rodgers is probably all around the most talented quarterback of all time. He throws it on a dime with his wrist, 65 yards down the field. He plays with what he has. He has Devontae Adams. I think it's stupid that Green Bay didn't go after OBJ because they wouldn't have won. They actually would have won the Super Bowl if that happened. So I mean, honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers. I would definitely want Aaron Rodgers at the age of 38 for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think we could definitely get him. We have the ammo to do it with all those draft picks and whatnot.
But that's a pipe dream. They're going to hang on to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they're going to what?
They're going to hang on to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to hang on to Jalen Hurts right now. But Kyle Hamilton would be a really good pick. He'd be like our next Brian Dawkins, possibly.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. But yeah, thanks for the phone call, buddy. It was a really, really good one.
I agree. I love the Kyle Hamilton pick if that happens.
Of course you do. I said it.
Yeah, if you say it, then absolutely. No, the kid from Notre Dame. Now, do I think he has some weaknesses? Yeah, but he is a ball hawk, and he goes ahead and uses his instincts and goes after a play before the play happens. And that's one of the things that I love about Kyle Hamilton. He's a big guy. He's got great speed, and he literally just plays center field back there. And wherever he thinks the play's going, he chases after it, and he goes and makes a play on it. And I love that from Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's someone that we would definitely be in need of getting, but it all depends on how the Miami Dolphins fare, and definitely didn't help on Thursday night.
Colts got to win. They're 5-5 now.
Because Kyle Hamilton's going to be a top 5 pick.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So we need to fall somewhere in that range. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Even if they did, I don't know if they'd pick him. I mean, you have what, 5 NFL players, like you said, on Georgia that we could pick from. So,
yeah, that whole defensive line is just NFL studs.
Yep. So, I mean, we do draft a defensive line, so that might be a possibility. But yeah, man, it was a great day. Obviously, I listened to most of the game on the radio, and I was really psyched up about what I heard, what I saw when I watched, and Zach, they're reeling me in again until they lose to the Saints next week, inevitably, especially because they're at home and they haven't won a damn home game yet.
If we lose to Trevor Siemian, it's just he did not look that great. But at the end of the day, he did enough. Sean Payton's an offensive genius. They were without their number 1 running back. They did enough to stay in that game. Obviously that late touchdown, that without that 2-point conversion, they lost by 2, but they could have easily tied that game and could have brought it into overtime and potentially won that game. So they're going to do what they need to do on the offensive side of the ball. And the Eagles need to put that shellacking a couple of years ago with Carson Wentz at the helm against the Saints in the back of the mind and say, hey, let's go get this revenge and show Sean Payton that, hey, even though you have the better coach, we have the better coach on this Sunday.
All right, well, I'm going to take care of Danny Lugenheimer's comment, and then I got to be honest with you guys. I got to watch Dexter tonight. It's about a serial killer who kills other serial killers. It's one of the best shows ever. It's the reboot. I love it. So I'm going to watch that right after this show. I'm going to take care of this comment right here, right now. And I'm going to feel pretty confident saying this because I don't give a rat's ass anymore. Carson Wentz is the fucking worst human being of all time, and that's saying a lot. I'm saying that because I genuinely have never hated a human being more than Carson Wentz. And I've had a lot of beefs in my past. I hate this guy with a passion. I don't care if he helped us win a Super Bowl. I don't care if he helped us get home field advantage. I hate him because people will not stop talking about the guy. He missed the birth of his fucking second kid. You see Zach's kid right there? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't miss the birth of his kid. All right. He missed a birth of his kid to play in a game that generally the backup could have won for them because they were facing Jacksonville. All right. I have never disliked a human being more in my life. And honestly, if it came down to me, and I never say this, if he got hurt again, I'm not saying I'd laugh, but I'd feel no sympathy. I genuinely hate Carson Wentz. I don't like Carson Wentz. I think what he's done to this fan base is one of the worst things that you could possibly ask for in any fan base. He's completely divided us down the middle for no reason. No reason. And it sucks. I'm so sick of talking about him. I'm so sick of hearing about him. For people on Eagles Twitter saying that he would have been 7-2 with us is everything you need to know about Eagles Twitter. They are fucking stupid. They are dumb. I think Jalen Hurts has done a better job with this team. Even though I'm down on Jalen Hurts, he's done a better job with this team than Carson Wentz has ever done outside of the 2017 season. And that was for 13 games. So you know what? Fuck Carson Wentz. Honestly, I'm sick of talking about him. I'm sick of hearing about him. He did not help us win a Super Bowl. And anyone that loves him, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Go root for somebody else. Go root for somebody else. Seriously. I'm so sick and tired of it. Go. I don't care. If you wear a Colts, I don't care what your age is. I don't care how stupid you look. If you wear a Colts Carson Wentz jersey, die. Zach,
what is in that water? What is in that water? You are coming with the heat. Now, I for one, I like and support any Philadelphia Eagles player above and beyond any other NFL player. Now, is there other NFL players I root for? Absolutely. Do I root for Carson Wentz? Absolutely. Do I root for AJ Brown? Absolutely. Do I root for, Patrick Surtain Jr., who just got beat up by, not Jerry Jeudy, Jesus Christ, by Devonta Smith? Absolutely. I root for my Bama guys in the NFL. I root for everybody in the NFL, but at the end of the day, the Eagles are above and beyond my favorite team. They're going to be the team that I root for first. If it was the Colts and the Eagles in a Super Bowl, you bet your ass I absolutely would hope for an Eagles blowout. And that's just how I'm going to be. But at the end of the day, I do root for Carson Wentz. I do believe he's a good guy. And, I hope he succeeds. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. I don't really care. As long as the Eagles are winning on Monday morning when I wake up after an Eagles win, that's how I enjoy feeling.
Zach, he missed the birth of his child to play against a team where the third stringer could have beat him. He missed that moment to play against. All right, so I'm sick of talking about Carson. Listen, if you want to like him for whatever reason, you go like him. I think he's despicable. I truly think he's despicable. I think his religion takes are fraudulent. I don't think he believes in God. I really don't. I hate Carson Wentz. I genuinely do not like him. I think he's a liar. I really do. Like, if you look back at his tweets in high school, they were fucked up. They were fucked up. And, he deleted them, of course, but fuck him. I'm done talking about him. I'm done talking about him.
I don't think he missed the birth of his child, his second child. But also, this is an Eagles podcast. It's not a Colts podcast.
Exactly.
That's why I don't like to talk Carson Wentz. At the end of the day, whether we get a nice first-round pick or a second-round pick, at the end of the day, just to get him out of the, rear view mirror and get rid of him and move on with our lives is a great thing. Let's not continue to bring up. At the end of the day, yeah, if we get a first-round pick, amazing. Second-round pick, yeah, we've had some great second-round picks. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. We've had some great second-round picks. So either way, I'm happy. We've moved on from something that wasn't working in Philadelphia. God bless him in Indianapolis, whatever the hell he does there. But at the end of the day, I'm worried about Eagles wins and Eagles wins only.
He sucked. He quit on the team. He's a crybaby bitch. Let's move on from him. Oh, and by the way, Jonathan Taylor does carry that team. So there you go. Wentz is a narcissist. Oh, 100%. He didn't do anything. The definition of a narcissist is someone that thinks they reached the top, but they didn't. He thinks that he won the Super Bowl, but he did not. So I agree. If Carson didn't play, he'd be calling him selfish. I'll say I wouldn't be calling him shit. I don't like Carson Wentz. I think he sucks. Happy birthday, Devonta Smith. Yeah. Let's talk about a player that matters. Devonta fucking Smith, the best wide receiver in the National Football League. There, I said it. The guy gets open every single play. That's impossible. This guy is going to be an all-time great. You heard it from my lips to your ears. Foles just better. Oh, absolutely. You know me. Foles is – let's run down this because I talked about Carson Wentz. Foles is the better guy. He's a winner, and he succeeded. He did nothing but succeed the whole time he was here. There you go. But yeah, you want to end the show on that note?
Yeah, we can talk more Wednesday, and we're going to open up the phone lines for those of you that tune in after the game and, don't necessarily know when we come back on. Wednesdays at 9 o'clock is our consistency. So tune in Wednesdays at 9 p.m. We're going to open up the phone lines after the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and feel free to call in.
I would go to war for Jalen Reagor before I did a little bit for Carson Wentz. I hate Carson Wentz. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Tune back in on Wednesday. We will be live at 9 o'clock. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Fly Like an Eagle podcast. It was a pretty fired up one. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for the phone call. And we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds. And great